Hi, I'm Sheriff Jack Parker, and I'd like to talk to you about safety for our citizens in the state of Florida. I think one of the questions we get most this time of year is how can we better protect ourselves from burglary? Sometimes people get the feeling that there's really nothing they can do against a burglar. That if he really wants to get inside a house, he's going to do it. But the truth is, that's not the truth, fortunately. And we can do just a few simple things to make our house more of a fortress. Hopefully keep him from even noticing our house in the first place. But if he does and he tries to get in, we can stop him from getting in. The first thing burglars look for is they like a home that people are living there, but it's temporarily unoccupied. Burglar doesn't really want to break into a home that has a person in it where they take the chance of being confronted with an angry homeowner, especially one with a gun. So they would rather burglarize a house where people are gone. That's why most burglaries in Florida take place during the day when people are mostly shopping or working or outside of the home. A burglar will drive by the neighborhood, sometimes in a car, sometimes on bike, sometimes on foot, and they'll be looking for a home that is unoccupied at the time. And what they're looking for is a driveway that may be empty. They're looking for maybe people are going to be gone for a few days and they have some parcels on the porch, scattered newspapers. It has the signs of people being gone. One of the telltale signs that we really don't like is when we see exterior lights on during the day. A lot of times people will leave a light on during the day because they're not going to be home until after night. And they want to make sure that there's light on at night around the house, or they're gone on vacation, even worse, and the light's just left on 24 hours a day. So if you are using external lights, which are very good for home security and crime prevention at night, they have the reverse effect during the daytime. We'd like you to make sure those lights are off during the day. Either put them on solar switches or some type of device that's going to make sure that they're off during the day, some type of timer, because a light is a very attractive thing to a burglar. Next thing, when a burglar decides that your house is a vulnerable house and something he is interested in doing, most burglars, and it surprises people to know this, but most burglars will go to the front door first. And they do this because they want to get a lot of information about the house before they burglarize the house. They're not very suspicious, they're not conspicuous when they go to the front door, and they know that. They haven't committed any crime, so they're not worried about law enforcement or anybody else driving through the neighborhood. And they'll go up to the front door and they'll pound on the front door pretty hard to get the attention of anybody that may be sleeping. Again, they don't want to surprise a homeowner inside. They'd like the homeowner to come to the door. If the homeowner comes to the door, most times they have lost interest in that house as a potential house to burglarize, and they'll go somewhere else. But when no one comes to the door, now they know the home is not occupied, or at least in their mind it's not. The other good thing about a front door is there's lots of glass around the door. There's generally glass in the front door, there's glass on the side of the door. And the burglar is able to look through this glass and see things that are important to him. For example, is the home alarmed? Just because a home has an alarm system doesn't mean it's armed. A lot of times people put the alarm panel right next to the front door so it's convenient to the homeowner. Well, the burglar knows that, and when he looks through that glass, he can see that alarm panel, can actually tell if your alarm system is armed or not. He can see if you have an alarm system. He can see if you have a dog. A lot of burglars won't take a chance on a house that has a dog because there's many houses out there that are capable of being burglarized that don't have dogs, so why take a chance with a dog? Now that he's made a decision that it is the home to burglarize and it has no armed alarm system, it doesn't have a dog visible, doesn't appear to be anybody home, he'll turn around and face the street, and most of the time just use his back foot or his shoulder and just push right through that front door. Now, we're always shocked by that, or at least people that are burglarized are shocked when we answer their call to a burglary that they came right through the front door. A lot of times they have a very good quality deadbolt on and they don't understand how that front door opens so easily. What happens is the door itself is strong and the deadbolt is strong, but most doors in Florida open inward. And as a result, it's very easy for most people to push that door in because that deadbolt itself goes into the soft wood of the door jamb. And if you open up your door and you look at your door jamb, you'll notice it has a very small strike plate. That's the little steel surround where the deadbolt slides into. And the worst part about that strike plate is it's attached with very small screws, generally about a ½ inch, that just go into the soft wood of the door jamb. And as a result, even though that deadbolt's strong, and that door may be solid steel or solid wood may be very strong, when you push on that door, it breaks that door jamb and opens right up. And how you can fix that is with what's called a security strike plate. It's just a larger strike plate that goes in place of the small strike plate, but the beauty of it is it has larger screws, generally 4 inches or longer, that go from the soft wood of the door jamb into the very strong wood surrounding, the 2x4 surround of the door encasement. And that way, when he goes to hit on that door, he may crack it, but it's going to be very improbable that he's actually going to get it open. Once he makes noise outside, as kicking on a front door or hitting it with a shoulder. Now all of a sudden he's becoming nervous because he's tried to get that door open and he just can't do it. And chances are very good he may try once or twice more, but if he can't get that door open, he may just give up on the burglary entirely. So that strike plate, generally about $7 or $8, is definitely worth your investment in time to get that installed. The next thing that we have a problem with is sometimes people will leave their garage doors open, and if you drive through a neighborhood, you'll notice they're partially open, maybe 12 inches, 18 inches from the ground. And why people do that a lot of times, especially in the summertime, is for ventilation, and they also do it sometimes because they have pets. A lot of times they'll have cats which come and go, and they'll leave that door partially open. Well, that is very attractive to a burglar driving through a neighborhood, because he will do the same thing. He'll go to the front door, assess if anybody's home. As he's walking back to his car in the driveway or wherever it happens to be parked, he'll drop to his belly and roll under that open garage door. Once he is in the garage, either break through the door that leads into the house, he can claw right through the drywall that separates the garage from the house, or in a lot of cases, we have attic stairs in our garage. He can pull those down, walk up into the attic, walk across the trusses, over the air-conditioned space of your home, and just drop down through your ceiling drywall right down into your kitchen or wherever he happens to be. Next, what we worry about is the burglar will walk around the side of the house. A lot of us have these side garage doors or side doors that lead into a utility room, and most of these doors have some type of decorative glass on them. What the burglar will do is he will just break that little glass pane. Their objective is not to crawl through the broken glass. Their objective is to reach their hand through and just simply unlock the deadbolt or the lock, and then just walk through their side garage, and then they'll close it. They don't like breaking glass a lot of times because it is noisy, but a lot of times they can get away with it on the side of the house, especially if it's obscured with bushes, etc. They close the door, now they're inside the house or inside the garage, and again they have access to your house. Anytime that you have glass around doors, whether they're side doors or windows, we'd like you to obscure them with some kind of a blind or an opaque window film so the bad guy cannot get the information that he wants to get. One of the ways we can protect ourselves against these side garage break-ins is we can install what's called a double-cylinder deadbolt lock. And that's the same exact thing as a regular deadbolt lock. The difference is that instead of having a lever on the inside that you control to lock your lock, it has a key which actually operates it. So when you lock it from the inside, you can actually take your key and put it on a nail near the door to where you can access it and get out in emergency situations. And any family's got to be reachable for any family member to get. And you may want to check your local codes to make sure it does comply with the codes. But that way, when a burglar breaks that window, he doesn't know you have that kind of a lock. He breaks that window, he's made noise, he's still outside, now he's sticking his hand through that broken glass, trying to get in as fast as he can, and now he feels that flush deadbolt. There's no lever for him to turn. So now he has to pull his hand back out, look around, and assess, do I want to continue to try to get into this house? He also knows, because he's probably burglarized other homes before, that this home is fortified. Can't get through the front door, garage is sealed tight. Now he's just broke a window on the side door and he's made noise, he's outside, he's attracting attention, and he's not able to get inside the house. He's probably going to be deterred from committing the burglary anyway. So that's very good. Also, since we're talking about obscuring glass and windows, we really do want to make sure, in the front door as well, that we obscure those windows with a window film or some type of blind so that the bad guy can't see in. The less information that he has about the home that he's going to burglarize, the better. It puts him in a position of not being very comfortable. And again, when we can create him being uncomfortable, that's good, because the more discomfort he has, the more likely he is to say this home is just not worth burglarizing. The next thing we worry about is the windows. Windows are a pretty large target for burglars to try to get into. One of the reasons is that a lot of times most of our homes have at least one open window in them, and burglars know that. So they'll try to just open your window, and a lot of times they'll find a window that's open. But in the case that they don't, they will break a window pane to do exactly what they did with that garage door. They want to reach in through that broken glass and open the window. Now, some people think they want to break the big window and just crawl through it. They do not. They don't want to crawl through broken glass. They want to break it, stick their hand through, unlock the factory locks, and lift the window, and then climb into the house through a clean frame. That's their goal. That's their objective. They don't want to crawl through any broken glass because they don't want to risk getting cut. They understand if they leave any blood evidence at all, then we have a very good piece of evidence that we can send in for DNA. If they are a career criminal or have been in trouble before, there's a very good chance we have their DNA on record and we'll be able to match them up to that particular burglary. If we don't have their DNA on record, we maintain that blood sample from that burglary scene, and then if we get DNA at a later date, we're able to make that connection and charge them with that burglary. The bad guys know that. They share this information in jail, so they really don't want to risk being cut. So what they try to do is they break the window, generally wrap their arm with some kind of shirt or some kind of towel, break the window, then reach through, try to unlock those factory locks in the window. But once they do that and they open the window, then they crawl through the clean frame. If that window is stuck for any reason, then they're not going to try to attempt to crawl through the glass. And one of the things we might use in a case like this is what's called a thumb screw. It's just a little window thumb screw available at most hardware stores or online, very inexpensive. And we'd recommend you put, if you're going to use them for security, you put them on the same location in every window. And again, make sure every family member inside knows how to take those thumb screws off so they can get out in times of emergency. But you put that on, he's not going to know where that is. He only knows where the factory locks are, what he can see from the outside. Then he goes to open the window and something is stopping it from opening. And so he may feel for a second, but if he can't feel it, and they're kind of designed in a way where it's very difficult for him to unscrew that lock without cutting himself. So if he can't get that window open, put yourself in the mind of the burglar. He's broken the window, he's made noise, he's still outside of the house, he's not safely inside your house, he's attracted attention. Now the last thing we worry about when it comes to home burglaries is the fact that the sliding glass doors in Florida have been a problem for many years. Now I will say that sliding glass doors are much better built today than they were 20 and 30 years ago, but they still present a problem in some cases. The first problem with sliding glass doors is the locks on the sliding glass doors are relatively easy to defeat with a simple screwdriver from the outside. And that's what they'll do. They'll stick a screwdriver in that sliding glass door where the handle is, where you open it from the outside, and they will just twist it and push that lock away from the frame and open the door. There's a couple of easy fixes for that. You can either use the old broomstick in the track, which most of us are aware of, which will stop that door from sliding open, or you can use a security pin. And these security pins are about $1 a piece, and when the door is closed, the two frames intersect each other, and you basically drill into the frame, being careful not to hit the glass, and you basically put that security pin in there, so when the door is closed, the pin is there. Again, reachable by all family members. You can pull it out in an emergency. It's got a little chain where it hangs so you don't lose it, but you put it in there when it closes. Now when the bad guy defeats the lock from the outside and goes to pull that door open, he can't do it because that little 99-cent pin is holding that door together. And the beauty is some of us have 3-panel doors or 4-panel doors. It doesn't matter how many sliding glass doors you have, you put a pin in each particular set of frames as they intersect, and he will not be able to open that up from the outside. So those are ways that we can stop this guy from getting inside the house. Just those little things, and if we add it all up, that's less than $100 for everything we've bought to really fortify our home against burglary. We don't want him even noticing our house to begin with, but if he does and he walks up to it and he assesses this is a home for him, we want to make sure that he cannot get in easily. Unless the burglar is aware of your home personally and you personally, that you physically have valuable stored on site, such as gold or some type of expensive jewelry, etc., he is not going to put that kind of effort into breaking into your home. Again, there are many homes out there in his mind that are very vulnerable and very easy to break into. Why go that extra effort and try to get inside this house where there's absolutely no guarantee that he'll have any success once he's in there? It's just not worth the effort for him, and that's what we want. That's what we want him to feel. We want him to go somewhere else. We don't want him to burglarize our homes.